Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday again. This is our new normal. Almost didn't make this. She told me she didn't have time to put in all the locations and all that stuff. So she just did like the down and dirty gender and age, and that's all that we have. We don't have all the other stuff. She said it takes too long. I'm like, okay, you know what? I have a column. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna be happy. And I am assured her that you guys would be happy too. So today on the wonderful show, we have only 22 questions this week. Thank goodness. This show is all the letters that we discussed on the show tonight have been sent in advance. They're all in this document. We do have those shows where you can call in and ask your question live, but this is not that show. So please don't ask questions now. If you have some, follow Shay's instructions. Go to debsterism.com and you'll see a device that says get advice or something like that, submit advice. Anyway, you click that and fill out the form and send it in for consideration for an upcoming show. But asking the questions in the chat is not what we're going to do tonight. Okay, so just listen, try to learn. If you have some comments about what the letter writer is asking, please feel free to share those. If you have some resources that might help them, please share those as well. We do not allow you to put the names of other YouTubers, though, so you can talk generally. Because, we try not to do that because sometimes these people are controversial. We don't see eye to eye, or I've actually had some negative interactions with them. I don't necessarily share all of that stuff with you guys. So in order to just keep it 100% neutral, just nobody's name gets mentioned, and so we don't have to pick and choose. Okay. So that's how we do things here. Watch your language, but Shay will remind you as we go through the show tonight. Oh, look who showed their face, Miss Tracy. To what do we owe this honor? It's good to see everybody. So let's get started. Question number one. We have 22 questions now for those of you who like to keep up. 22 questions today. This is a young man in the 20 to 34 age group. He says, his summary of issue is, I have a really hard time handling rejection from women. How can I work through this? Well, it's not like you're the only one. This is a lot of young men. For some reason, it's so hard for me to accept rejection or handle my emotions when a girl says she's not interested, especially when she doesn't know me. We'll have to revisit this. It's like, what are you not interested in? You don't even know me enough to know what I have to offer. It feels to me like most of the time people only care about looks. I guess I don't have good looks. However, I see this guy at a club a lot who always has hot women with him. He looks ugly to me, but maybe he's really cool or funny. I don't know. I'm not trying to make this letter about him. I'm just expressing my frustration with women rejecting me. Believe it or not, I really do want to change and I need advice. Okay, well, first, we're going to give you a reality check. Now, you say it's hard for me to accept rejection from women or handle my emotion when she's not interested. Do you act like that when you go for a job interview and they reject you? Do you act like that when you go and apply for an apartment and they reject you? Are you like that when you apply for a credit card and they reject you? No? Interesting. Are you like that when you go for promotion at your job and they reject you? See, this is the part that drives me crazy about you guys. You are real cool about it. You just deal with it, just take it on the chin and keep it moving when it's everything other than a woman. And the problem with that is it's your sense of entitlement. You think because you're interested in a woman that she's obligated to be interested in you back. This thing here, right here, is very hypocritical. This comment is like, she says she's not interested, especially when she doesn't know me. Well, you don't know her either, but yet you're interested in her. You know what you're interested in, just like you said, what she looks like. You get a tingle in your ding-a-ling, and so that makes you interested in her, and then you get your feels hurt when she's not interested back because you was imagining a good old romp and all kind of stuff was going on and romance and tongue slapping and stuff flying and clothes flying off and all stuff. You was imagining all of that. And then she just looks at you and goes, no. And then you get all crushed. But the bottom line is what you should be doing is under whatever feelings you have and you control them when all those other situations happen. I know nobody likes it, you know what I mean? But you don't go flipping out and having a hard time as you describe it when you're faced with other kinds of rejection. It's only when it's women. And that, like I said, is because you have somehow worked yourself into some sense of entitlement over women's bodies, time, and energy. You need to, you need to figure that out. I can't help you with that. Some of you might need, some of the guys who have this problem like you actually need to see a therapist because it's so deeply ingrained, this sense of entitlement, that they get angry and actually want to commit acts of violence against the women who rejected them, like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, except somebody's body is involved and the women get hurt and sometimes unalived because these guys can't handle rejection. So think about what I'm saying, where that came, that sense of entitlement to a woman because you're interested in her. Where did that come from? Because that's at the core of what you're talking about right here. You feel entitled and she just shoots you down and you mad. You big mad. And then you talk about the guy at the club who always has hot women with him. You know what he probably has that you don't? A good attitude. You the sourpuss sitting over there in your little hut feeling entitled and being mad because nobody's joining you in your hutness. But the bottom line is, dude might be not the most attractive, but he evidently has something that women like. Instead of being jealous about him and trying to put him down, you ought to be studying him so you can figure out what that is. Or maybe even ask a couple of women like, what do you like about him? I'm just curious. Just conversation with a nice tone of voice. If you sound challenging or like, because he ain't, that kind of thing, they're not going to talk to you. You have to be like, he seemed like a cool dude. What is it that you like about him so much? Something like that, something that's light. And you never know, it might even get you a dance or something if you come off as a nice person, cool. But if you have this kind of attitude, this energy, and you've been around women with this, they're never going to talk to you. Women feed off of energy, and we can tell when a dude has an undercurrent of rage, and we don't want nothing to do with you because it's not safe. So check yourself and think about what I'm saying and where that came from. And then if you can figure out where it came from, then you can figure out what to do with it and how to disappear it. Oh, my God. Question number 2, female. She's 22 to 27 as well. No location, no ethnicity, no nothing. Okay, Candace. Summary of issue. My boyfriend has a best friend girl that makes me uncomfortable. Oh, here's that word again. Background. My partner and I have been together for 2 years now. I'm 25 and he and his friend are 26. Deb, there's been multiple conversations I had with my boyfriend where I have expressed discomfort in one of his friendships because it seemed to have undertones of flirtatiousness. This ultimately led to him understanding and distancing himself from this friend, which I appreciate. He's made it clear that he does not have feelings for her, although he can see how the dynamic of his friendship with her can come off. However, my issue lies with his best girlfriend. I'll call her V. Here are a few things that put me off about her. Note that my partner and V share a big friend group. Yeah, you young people love to have a friend group. I don't understand all that. She has told my guy that she would love to be friends with me, but any actions I have initiated with her has been one-sided and received unenthusiastically. But she's like, yeah, whatever, bitch. That's basically her attitude. She does not make the effort to acknowledge me in social settings, but acknowledges every other woman that's dating her guy friends. She makes an effort to try and be close to them, but with me, it's radio silence. Anytime we're in a group setting, she only talks to my partner and does not include me in any conversation. While she was throwing up and having a breakdown in the bathroom at a party, I tried to console her, but then she completely shut me out and told me to get my partner instead. Okay, we're going to have to revisit all of these examples because you is obviously a wuss. Then she makes an obvious effort to be physically touchy with my partner, i.e. grabbing his hand, touching and playing with his belt, maneuvering her movements so that she ends up being close and almost chest to chest with him while acting like she's just casually grabbing something next to him, smoking the same cigarette that came directly from his mouth, all to which he is uncomfortable with as well, but takes it as friendly touch. If he takes it as friendly touch, then he's not uncomfortable with it. I'm not sure what kind of game he's running on you, but you sound stupid. My partner has told me that I'm the third girlfriend of his to express discomfort in this friendship with V. The women that date her male friends have all told me they do not like her either. It makes me feel like she doesn't respect my relationship with my partner or the fact that I am someone he values. I hold a bit of resentment towards him for not seeing it at first, but he has in fact held himself accountable as to how his friendship comes off. He's expressed that he would like to have a discussion with his friend about how he feels about her actions and whatever her intentions may be, which I fully support. There was never closure between them about ending the friendship, but he feels the need to bring it up as they share the same friend group and social interactions and feels it will be awkward if he acts distant from her. Am I reading too much into this or does this seem valid? Girl, you don't have a V problem, you have a boyfriend problem. And I'm going to tell you, wait, let me get this page. Let me start from the top here. Okay. This led to him distancing himself. How is he distancing himself when she's pawing all over him and he doesn't tell her to stop? Have you ever thought about that? Because I know how my husband would have acted a complete fool. And she would have been every kind of bee he could talk about. He flung her behind onto the floor or something because he didn't play that kind of stuff. Don't be touching me, bee, and all this kind of stuff. That's what came out of his mouth. But no, your boyfriend just sits there and takes it and lets it happen over and over and over and over again to the point where you wrote all this novel about how this girl interacts with him. So what you could do, which, obviously, let me tell you how this would have went if it was me. While she was throwing up in the bathroom, I would have went and put a chair under the door so she could have not got out. And she would have been in there with all her vomit forever until somebody let her out. And I would have sat right there and said, no, she needs privacy. So just go away. She needs privacy. She's embarrassed right now. And let her be in there with that vomit all by herself. Then she wants to be touching, grabbing his hand and playing with his belt and all this kind of stuff. Now, there's two schools of thought here. One is that he's supposed to stop her. That's, the main one. But the other one is, since she's doing that to get your goat, that stuff that she's doing is directed at you. It's not so much him. He's the prop. She's doing it to get at you. So what you're supposed to do in a case like that, if you want to, is you snatch her by her hair and you fling her away from your boyfriend and say, bitch, didn't I tell you not to be touching my man? You done lost your mind. I will kick your bitch ass up in here. Don't think just because I haven't said anything that I don't know what the fuck you up to. Bitch, I will stomp your ass. I will make you bleed and be in the emergency room. And I don't give a fuck who in here don't like it. I will beat their ass too. So if you say some crazy stuff like that to her, she'll stop. But if you're too scared and plus you don't know how to fight, well, then it's not going to really work for you. You have to be able to back up when you start jumping bad like that, you have to be able to back it up. You have to know how to throw punches, fling bitches around, grab them by the hair and like bam, bam them. You have to know how to do something. And, most people would be so shocked that they, you would get a good couple of blows in before they try to pull you off or something like that, because, they would be so surprised that you went there. But that element of surprise is what you got. When it's a bitch like this, you don't say nothing to her. You just act. And then you talk while you're commencing to beat her asses when you start giving her the lecture. Bitch, I told you not to touch my back. All of that should be going on while you're talking to her. You don't talk first and then threaten. That's not how you do it. You snatch her, beat her, and as you're beating her, you're lecturing her about what she better not ever do again. So see, there's two ways to approach this. There's the street way, and then there's a polite way where you wait for your man to do it. But since he's not doing it, now I'm just reading you through all the decision making that I'm going through here. Since he's not really doing anything to your satisfaction, he's going to have this like detente and all this old shit here, like he's like NATO or something. Well, that wouldn't fly for me, because I've been like, didn't you make this clear in the first place? What is all of this? And so then I would have just left him, because I'm not going to be dealing with that, but I would still want to beat her ass first. But, I don't believe in closure. Closure is something that people make up in their head, like it's something that they think the other person's supposed to give them. The other person doesn't give a shit about you. So in a situation where you're looking for closure from the individual who hurt you, used you, abused you, cheated on you, lied to you, whatever. You're looking for that person to turn around and care about your feelings now and give you, quote, closure. You delirious. So that's what I would tell him. There's no closure to be had. All you going to do is close the door on this friendship. And if I see you talking to this bitch again, I'm going to stomp you and her. It's going to be a twofer because it's just too disrespectful. That's thing. I don't get jealous, but I don't like to be disrespected. That will send me to Mars, and then all kind of mayhem and murder will happen, because it's like you just go crazy. I can't stand that. And it's not jealousy, because I could sit there and say, I'm gonna watch how you handle yourself. But if I feel like, you're doing it to the level where it's like this girl, where she just markedly disrespecting her in her face, I'm not having that. I'm not taking that. Yeah, he just being all passive and stupid and not really, like yelling at her and telling her to back the fuck up and stuff. He's not doing all that. He's just sitting there like, oh, she's just being friendly. Your boyfriend is weak and so are you. Two silly people. Question number 3. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. Sorry, that's all I have. Summary of issue, asking what they are looking for. Yes, we have videos on this topic. I matched on a swipey thing with this girl that didn't really specify what she was looking for, but it showed that she wants kids on her profile. We had a coffee date that went fairly well, and then we have another date scheduled to grab some drinks this time. Will it kill the vibe if I ask her what she's looking for? I'm not trying to waste my time and energy and effort into someone that's trying to figure out their dating goals. Sir, it doesn't matter what her dating goals are if you ain't on the agenda. The only way she would know what her dating goals are, especially with you, since you would be the one asking her, is after she spends some time getting to know you. You want somebody to make a commitment to you, like, yes, I'm looking for a husband, so that you feel like you on the husband track and that you're trying to earn this position in this chick's life. She doesn't know that about you. You putting the cart before the horse. You don't need to ask her what she's looking for, because what's she gonna do if she says it's something like, I don't know, like, yeah, I want to have kids and everything, and I expect to be married within the next 90 days. Well, what you gonna do? I mean, she might be have the same interests as you, but she have a totally different timeline. I mean, there's so many variations here. But the bottom line for me is this is a question that one should never ask. You don't need to ask. You date the person, and you should be dating several people, not just her. You go out with several different people, and you see by their consistency, by their habits, the way they have conversations with you, what they talk about. Check out their friends, check out their jobs, check out how they living. And then you make a determination about what that person might be looking for, and if you want to give it to them. That is the key point. It doesn't matter what they're looking for, because I don't give a shit what you're looking for. I care about what I'm looking for, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm looking for, because I'm not giving you a script. You're just going to figure it out as we go along, and so am I. Because I know what I want, but that doesn't mean I'm going to tell you, because then you're going to magically become that thing, because whatever your secret agenda is. No, I'm not stupid. You don't do that. So, asking a question like that to somebody like me would get your feelings hurt, because it's none of your goddamn business what I'm looking for. I just met you yesterday. Slow your roll, home skillet. Just slow down here. Question number 4. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary of issue. How do I deal with this friend zone situation with this girl? She's super simple and attractive and very nicely rejected me several months ago and said she'd want to remain friends. So we remained friends for 3 or 4 months, I guess. I was in the hopes that it'll go somewhere, because she showed a lot of attraction. Oh, you've been on them sites. I can't remember the name of them, pickup artist sites. So they be talking about that, increase attraction. I thought it was her commitment issue. But now she seemed to have lost all interest. I started backing off and stopped initiating conversations. She texts me only when I upload a story on my Instagram, but I do the usual formal small talk. Her friends tell me that she misses me, but when we are in college, she doesn't seem to even come around. I do the same. Now, the thing is, we are also in a common Rotary group. There's an activity coming up. I voted for Monday. She voted for Friday. She asked me to change my plan and go along with her on Friday instead of Monday because she doesn't want to go alone. I'm not sure what to do. Quote, colon, rather. 1, do I go on my own and give her some excuse? Or number 2, do I go with her with the hopes of resuming talks and keep trying? Or number 3, or do I just make it clear to her that I can't go with her? I don't think this option is best for me because I already previously stated how much the friendship is important to me after the rejection. Okay, so you want to play the friend game, then you got to play it, honey. You don't put yourself there. This is not her fault. She offered the friendship, but the one who could say yes or no was you. And you was dumb and you said yes. And so you got your face cracked. You'd never be friends with someone who rejected you. You can be civil to them, polite, you have to see them around in social settings. They're a friend of the family. You guys go to the same school, you work in the same building or something, same industry. I mean, whatever it is where you're going to have a continued interaction with that person, whether you're dating them or not, then you just be, you be civil and polite, but quote, friends, no, you're not friends. Because just like you admitted, you had a secret agenda where you were hoping that the friendship would morph into something else, and then it didn't happen. So you in the friend zone now, so you got to play the role of the friend. So either you're going to do number 2, you're going to go with her, but you're going to go in a friend thing. You're not going to have any secret hopes. You're just going to go because you're both in the same club, and she don't want to go alone, and it's probably you don't either. So you guys go together, and it's just friendly and civil, and no hidden agendas and no unmet expectations because you don't have any, because you're just a friend. Okay. Or you just tell her, sorry, I really, the only day I'm really available is Monday. And so I guess that means I have to go by myself, but that's unfortunate. And just do it that way. So either way, you're going to still play the friend role, not try to punish her and not try to have secret hopes and wishes. You dudes kill me with that. Okay, well, I'll be her friend because then that way at least, maybe something will happen. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Stop hoping. Move on. Question number 5. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. Again, God, this group seems to have the most relationship problems. Summary of issue. My boyfriend's mother is always picking on me and blaming me for everything he does. I'm wondering if I should leave as it may get worse long term. How long have you been dealing with this? Okay, let's see if she says. I'm 25 and my boyfriend is 27. His mother repeatedly makes fun of me, my hair, etc. And I'm just wondering if I shouldn't have a place in this family. I'm wondering if it's worth getting upset over. What? Okay, these folks are made out of some different kind of cloth. My boyfriend and I have been dating for years. Okay, so she's been dealing with this for years? I wouldn't deal with this shit for 10 minutes. And his mother has been a general issue in our relationship. She's the type that cannot let go of her son. He just moved out and she blamed me for him moving out and said I should have stopped him. If he doesn't dress, quote, fancy, that's my fault too. And it's my fault for not forcing him to buy himself luxury clothes. He's inside all day. My fault for not forcing him outdoors. He's outside too much. My fault for not forcing him indoors. He's not eating breakfast because he prefers to wait till lunch. My fault. This is a 27-year-old man, Deb. He's going to do what he wants. I know that. Apparently, I'm also too plain and simple. Every time, and she put those in quotes, every time we go out, she always tells me my hair looks bad, my makeup isn't enough, my dress is plain, I'm not doing enough. Basically, no matter what, she's always telling me I'm not enough. What a miserable bitch. I stand up for myself, but she keeps going and going. The thing is, my boyfriend's sister joins his mom in this behavior, called me an embarrassment for not having him marry me yet. And when they have an issue with my boyfriend, aka their son and brother, they blame me. They are very judgmental in general. They are not happy people. I tell my boyfriend now how I feel, but I get the, yeah, that sucks, but that's how they are. Now I'm wondering if this could escalate and it's worth potentially ending the relationship over. Do I want to have kids and family ties with someone who's like this? Should I wait to see how the dynamic changes now that he has moved out? I'm just not sure if I'm overreacting or if I'm not thinking enough about it. It's been like this for 4 years, and I just can't imagine it getting any better. This is who they are, and people don't tend to change. Well, let me say this. First of all, you must like abuse because you stuck around for 4 years listening to this without cussing them heifers out. Let me tell you how this would have went if this was Deb. Let me go back to your first part. She makes fun of me, my hair, etc. Blah blah blah. So you say, well, your son loves it, so, and that means he likes it enough, so he's fucking me. You jealous? You jealous? You old and fat and ugly, and you got a bad attitude, and that's why you can't get no dick. So if you had acted right and had a better attitude, maybe some man would want to come over here and tighten you up, like your son does me. See, and then she would just be sitting there gasping like a fish out of water. But then if she want to criticize you, at least that in that moment, you would give her something. She could criticize you like you say, you just a little evil bitch. And you would say, yes, I am. Thank you very much for noticing. Because it would be true. But see, I'm going to think like, if you're going to be yelling at me and going off on me and stuff, then I'm going to give you something to yell and go off on me about that's going to be true. I'm not going to let you just create stuff out of the thin air. Okay, so then she blamed him for moving out. And I should have stopped him. Why? He's trying to get away from your evil ass. All you ever do is complain and say nasty, evil things. Who do you think want to be in a household listening to that shit all the time? That's why he moved you. And so then you say, if he doesn't dress fancy, that's your fault too. It's like, I prefer him with no clothes at all. So, this issue about clothes is really, you kind of barking up the wrong tree here. I like his ass when I walk in the door. I want him to be butt naked in the bed with his hands behind his head so I could just strip on my way to the bed and we all having a good time. See, I would just fill her head with all kind of stuff like that because to keep reminding her, hammering it home, he's not fucking you, he's fucking me, mama. And know all of the things that you're jealous about trying to control your son is never going to work because he's a young man and he's leading with his dick, which is a part of his body you can't have. That's the part that the mother is having such a problem with, And you two plain and simple, again, he likes it. He likes it. Ooh, he likes it so much. He tells me all the time how much he likes it. In the bed, he tells me how much he likes it. When I wake up in the morning, when he's in the shower with me, he tells me like it. In the middle of the day, he calls me on the phone and tells me how much he likes it and how he can't wait till it comes home to him. I would wear her bitch ass out. I would just find reasons to call her to say, you know what, your son just called me. And guess what he said? What he's going to do to me when I get back up, when I get to the house. It must be nice to be plain and not fancy, huh? Maybe you should try it. Oh, you already do, but yours is not really plain. It's just like ghetto, trash, trifling. You in that category. You're not plain. Yeah, I don't know. My things come like in the moment, but when people they say stuff and it triggers me, my mouth starts going, psh, 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 and it's like there's a no off switch. So she would have just got told, I'm sorry, and he would have been mad too. And I'm like, keep interfering. This is woman to woman shit. Sit your ass down because you sure wasn't saying shit when your mother was talking about me. So don't be trying to defend that bitch. She's grown, so am I. And when she fires at me, I'm gonna fire back. And if you don't want to get none yourself, you better stay out of the target range. Go sit down. You know what I mean? I don't do mother-in-laws. No, we're not going to do this. Anyway, let's move on. Question number 6. So, look, young girlie, I hope you get an idea what I'm talking about here. You just being a wuss. You being a wimp and you letting this woman beat up on you. You need to rear up and blow her hair back. That's what I'm telling you. Question number 6. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. Summary of issue. My boyfriend may be toxic. Well, if you surmise that this is a question, then the chances of him being toxic are like probably 110%. I've been in a relationship with this guy for a little over 2 years. We were recently at a family gathering, his family, and he didn't like how some of his family members were acting disconnected with the group. So that means they were off on their own on the side. So he started yelling at them and calling them degrading names in front of young children. Then he stomped out of the house telling me we were leaving and started packing up the car. His entire family asked me to please stay, that he needed to cool down. And it was very awkward because I had a long drive home and he was leaving with my car. I ended up apologizing to the group and leaving with him because I felt I didn't have any options. I was quiet the entire way back to his house and then headed home from there. These outbursts have become more frequent as time has gone by, and they remind me of toddler tantrums. I'm exhausted from being nervous, but have started to question if it's all in my head and ask myself, is this how other people act, and just hide it really well? Is this toxic or is this typical behavior? If you think this is typical behavior, you dumb. You so dumb. It's like I can't even imagine how dumb it is. What adult male throws a temper tantrum like a toddler? In what world is that normal behavior? How is that a responsible, mature adult? Do you even understand how stupid you sound right now? You answered your own question and called it the toddler thing. I correctly identifying it and then turned around. Well, is this typical? You just trying to find any excuse to stay with this clown. That's what this is all about. You're trying to justify it. But I'm telling you, he's going to keep this up until one of these days, his words and all this name calling and stuff, he's going to turn around and attack you. And then it's going to be he's going to use your body to hurt you, or he's going to hurt you, like damage your property, like total your car and stuff. Some of these guys do that kind of stuff. So you be out of a whole bunch of money and have no car. So the best thing you could do in a situation like this is dump this guy. You're acting like this is the only guy in the world. How could you even have any respect for a man who would talk to his family members like that, especially in front of little kids? He has no respect at all. He doesn't care about his own relatives. He doesn't care about them little kids. This thing that men are supposed to protect and provide for. He's supposed to protect little kids, not be abusing them with all kinds of vulgarity and getting them nervous and scared by seeing a rage fit. Girl, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you trying to justify his behavior. This man is a nut. He's a kook. That's why his family wanted you to stay so they can give you the tea. But traipse off because you let him go in your car, which is another thing. Okay, you going with him to his people's house. He's supposed to drive his car. You're the guest. How did you get talked into driving your vehicle to see his people? Where they do that at? There's so much wrong with this relationship scenario that I can't even understand what you're doing. What kind of self-esteem do you not have to have involved yourself with a dude like this and to be trying to justify it at the end? You're exhausted, but it's in my head. How can it be in your head when you saw him do it in front of all them different people? You see what I mean, you guys? It's like she's just trying to create an excuse so she can stay with him. In spite of her reciting all the reality, she's at the end, she's trying to justify it and make it okay. Go and keep on then. You just keep on doing it till he starts beating your ass and cracking you upside the head. Then maybe you'll understand. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group again. Summary of issue. My friend is suffocating me and I'm starting to get aggravated. Oh, good. At least somebody didn't use the word uncomfortable. Good job. We've been friends since high school. We're both 27 now. Oh, they're at that age. She at that age. She moved away 4 years ago, but recently moved back to our town with her boyfriend. She has gotten clingy and is turning me off. Let me tell you some of the stuff she does. Ooh, the tea. The tea is on the next page. Wants to hang out literally every weekend, sometimes weekdays too. Wants to start working out with me. Tell me to introduce her to my other friends, mainly my work friends. One time she was out of town for work and she texted me and asked if me and my boyfriend could hang out with her boyfriend because he was all alone. What does he need, a pet sitter? I understand she doesn't have a lot of friends in the city, but it's becoming too much. I find her presence annoying now. Plus, I really don't connect with her. Everything feels forced. Side note, Deb, I am a people pleaser, so it is difficult for me to set boundaries and just say no. I also feel guilty for not wanting to hang out. Thank you, Cece. I'm going to say this. She wants to hang out every weekend. You tell her, no, I'm hanging out with my man so I can get my swerve on. We have things to do, places to go, people to meet. And 3 is the crowd. So no, I'm not doing that. She wants to start working out with me. You just say, my workout time is my time for myself. I put my headphones on and I don't really want to talk to anybody or socialize. That's me time. So no thanks. She wants you to introduce her to your other friends, mainly your work friends. You say, no, that would be inappropriate. I know these people through my job and you don't work there. So that really wouldn't make any sense. You see how I'm doing this? I'm explaining it in a way that's saying no, but it's real. It's logical. How can she think you want to look at her all the time when you got a boyfriend? I see my friends, but I wasn't trying to look at them every weekend. Some of that time, I'm going away for the weekend with my dude and doing stuff. We're going to visit his family and out of town and all kind of stuff. Going to visit my family out of town. So, I mean, there's things going on. There's events, especially in the summertime. You going away, going down to LA, you going over here, over there, Reno. They have these different things and Tahoe and stuff. We were just having a good time. We're not going to be stuck around the town looking at you. That's not going to happen. And so then, and this thing about babysitting her boyfriend, I'm like, isn't he? What is he 2? He needs somebody to go over there and change his diaper. I would have made a joke about it. It's be like, girl, no, bye, and hung up on her. But this people pleaser thing. See, people pleasers attract these kind of people. They find you because they like to steamroll people, and you don't put up any boundaries. So they go keep hammering at you because that's what they do. So you better learn to speak up. You want to be a people pleaser all your life, you can if you want to, but then don't bother my nerves writing me a letter about it to complain when you won't step up and even try to do anything about the problem. You just write me to whine, but then kind of try to blow it off. Like I'm a people pleaser, and it's hard to say no, and I feel guilty. So make up your mind. You're going to go through life feeling guilty and being a people pleaser and refusing to tell people no and just getting stomped on? Or are you going to start speaking up like a grown fucking ass woman? Okay, this weak ass excuse about I'm a people pleaser. Well, you identified the bullshit in your life. Now do something about it. My goodness. Question number 8. Female 18 to 21, male 22 to 27. Summary of issue. How do I tell an older guy that I don't want to go on a date with him? And it's one that he planned before I even agreed to anything. Okay. I've been talking to this guy for the last 3 weeks. He told me that he's interested in me. The problem is I don't know if I see him that way yet because his personality in real life is very different from his personality online. We've only met up once so far, but during our meetup, I wanted to leave early. I had even put on my coat and said to him, I have a 9 a.m. meeting tomorrow. I should get going. To which he ignored and continued talking for another hour. And yet you stayed. After meeting up with him that time, I was immediately certain that I don't see myself dating him, but I don't mind being friends. How? Yes, you do. You don't be friends with men who are romantically interested in you. I have told you, silly girls, 900 times. If a dude is interested in you, don't you dare disrespect him or put yourself in a noose by talking about out throwing him that friend fishbone. Stop it. You don't want nothing to do with this fool. Stop trying to, quote, be nice and offer him some lie, what you call a friendship. You don't want to be friends with that motherfucker. You don't want to date him and you don't want to be friends with him either. Just be honest. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy. Okay, let me finish with this bullshit that you wrote. During our meetup, he already had decided that we were going to meet up again, and he made a choice before even asking if I wanted to. I said I'll let him know when I'm free, but he kept insisting on a specific date. I just said okay at the time because I didn't know how else to respond because I wasn't expecting him to be so persistent. All men are like that. But see, you didn't really say no. You have to learn to say no. I don't want to go out with you again. I don't see this being anything. We're too different. I don't think that's not really going to work for me. Now he's basically planned everything and is asking me if I'm okay with the plans. I don't know how to tell him that I don't want to go on a date with him, but I don't mind hanging out as friends only. No, again, you're not going to do that. You just beating yourself in all kinds of trouble here. Although he thought of this already makes me dread the day because I found it quite tiring to be around him. I don't want him to think I'm leading him on by not firmly and directly rejecting him. Well, why don't you then firmly and directly reject him then? Because otherwise you are leading him on. That's exactly what you're doing, giving him hope and not saying no and not shutting this shit down. He asked me to make a choice. Basically, if I have or will I have feelings for him in the future. A few days after we met, and I told him as of right now, I don't know because we've only known each other for 2 weeks. He said that I'm not interested at all, that he will switch off his feelings for me. So if I ever do develop feelings for him in the future, he won't be able to develop feelings for me again. Oh, he tried to threaten you, did he? I guess out of fear of losing a potential romantic relationship, I said maybe. So now he most likely thinks that I'm as interested in a relationship with him as he is with me, but I'm not. I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just go on this date and see how things go since I've only met him once. Any advice would be highly appreciated. Thanks. FYI, Deb, I've never dated before. I'm an introvert, so I rarely talk to guys, and this is the first guy I've talked to who's shown a romantic interest in me. Okay, no wonder you all fucked up. Girl, there's no, quote, potential romantic relationship here. He used that on you because he's convinced that you don't know what the fuck you doing, and you're too naive and too desperate to please and be not, to be nice and not hurt him and all this kind of stuff. So since you don't seem to have a good voice, what you're going to do is go on your phone, and that number that he's been calling you from, you're going to block it. And you're going to ghost him. That's what that's called. And then on your social media and the dating site you met him on or whatever, you're going to go and you block him on those too. That's what you're going to do. Okay. It's very passive aggressive, well, whatever. But, for you, until you spend some more time on this channel and learn how to deal with men and have some self-esteem and decisiveness about yourself, you have to do it that way. A woman who's more confident and knowledgeable, when he started all that pressuring her about, well, are you going to like me stuff? She would say, no, you're not going to dictate my feelings. I decide who I like and when I might like them, not you. And so, as a matter of fact, since you're trying to run this entire little game, we're done here, sir. So I would have got my shit and left. And the main thing was you was ready to go, and he kept talking, and you're supposed to be walking away while he's still talking. You don't sit there and let somebody hold you prisoner for another hour. So the fact that you kept sitting here, that showed him what kind of weak person you are. He was able to control you from the first date because you did not have a spine and did not say, look, I said I gotta go, and get up and get your shit and leave. But you didn't do that. You let him monopolize your time for another hour so that you would be tired tomorrow, and he got what he wanted at your expense. That's what you taught him by that. So now he knows all he has to do is pressure you and keep you doing in the direction that he wants, and you'll fold like a bad poker hand. You can't date yet. You need to learn a whole bunch of more game and get your confidence and stuff up, because you're just a walking, they got a target on your forehead for all the dudes out here, these gaming dudes on these personal sites. Girl, you are a mark. Get your little ass onto these videos. Start with the one about control your emotions, and you look at all the ones about boundaries and self-esteem. It's going to take you hours to get you a notebook and take notes. And I want you to put that shit into practice before you go and try to date anybody again. This is a hot mess and actually kind of dangerous, because you have a guy who's not listening to your no, which you actually haven't really said no, but the fact that you're not really interested in it, he can see that, but he's still pressuring you because he's getting what he wants out of you, and you keep giving it to him. So you're just going to block him. You're going to block him, and you're going to do it right after you hear this message. Question number 9. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. The male is 35 to 42. Summary of issue: I need help figuring out how to accept my husband's emotional limitations. What's up, Shay? Oh my God. Button. Ooh, I have a headache. You guys know what? I decided I'm going to do 30 days of no drinking, and I'm only on day 2 and I'm about to die. I'm not going to even have wine. I'm not going to have anything. I really just want to see if I lose any weight, because I think, oh, my wine is making my belly big. But that's another story. So yes, day 2. I hope I make it. Okay, so she needs help figuring out how to accept her husband's emotional limitations. I'm currently going through a lot, chronic illness mostly. The mental component is so hard to bear sometimes. I share it with my almost 40-year-old husband, but he has nothing to say. He literally just stares at me while I cry. He used to tell me everything was going to be okay, but eventually stopped because he said he doesn't know if or when it will go away. It's been 4 months already. That being said, I recently heard a podcast about accepting people for who they truly are and understanding not all have the capabilities that you assign them. I really don't think my husband knows how to be there for me. He listens, but there's no feedback. More than anything, he offers distraction, but the less I'm able to share with him emotionally, the less I want to do other things with him, if that makes sense. Oh, I totally know what you're talking about. I need to be able to connect emotionally in order to feel attracted and interested in him. But since I don't connect with him, I don't like being around him. And I most definitely don't want to get busy with him. I feel miles away from him. Where do I go from him? You grow a pair and you sit your husband down and you say, There's things I need from you to help me get through this, and you're not delivering. And then you tell him what you need. Have you ever done that? He's not going to know by magic. You tell him what you need, and then he'll do it. Of course, if you tell him what you need and then he doesn't do it, then you need to get you a divorce attorney. But because then, I mean, you just on your own calling yourself married. But if you haven't given him any clues, I mean, just like a lot of you women assume that when an emotional crisis happens, that men automatically know how to deal with it. Some do, but you know why? Because they've been trained by their mother, sisters, or previous girlfriend or previous wife. Those who haven't had those experiences have no clue. Okay, they have no clue. So even little kids, when they're being like patting up the other little kids in the preschool that fell down, do you need a hug, Johnny? And stuff. They're modeling people that were around them. They saw you do that. They saw your dad, the dad do that, so they do it. That's how kids learn. So if your man was in an environment where nobody ever taught him to be empathetic and supportive, please explain to me how he's going to know how to do that. And you just get married and you just expect him to magically know, like Keebler elves or something. So what you have to do is sit down with him and say, look, I'm in a crisis. I'm your wife. I love you. But right now, I need more from you than what you're giving me. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. And you try to distract me and make jokes and things like that. That really doesn't work. This is a serious thing for me. I'm scared out of my fucking mind. I don't know what's going to happen to me. If I even be here next year. I mean, whatever, because you didn't say what the thing was. But whatever your fears are, you need to express them and let him know how he can help you. Most men, when given an assignment, they get busy executing the assignment. But if he doesn't know what to do, it's going to be challenging for him to ask you. So you have to tell him, okay? Not with accusations, not with blame, not with anger, but say, honey, this is what I need. This is what I need from you to help me get through this. I need to feel like you're on my team, that we're partners in this, that, that you have my back, and, whatever else you want to say, you have to give him an image of what that's going to look like. And then he should be able to follow the script. Okay, so try that. Doesn't sound like you have. You're just doing a lot of assumption and wishing and hoping, but not communicating. Question number 10. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group. Summary of issue. How do I navigate weird dynamics with my mother-in-law? Oh, here we go again. Why do these letters tend to come in groups with, like similar topics? They like all come in 1 week. Okay, I come from a family that is very forthright in saying things as they are. What you see is what you get with me, and I navigate life and relationships pretty directly and bluntly. But my mother-in-law is very much a covert in dropping hints and backhanded remarks to try to guilt people, especially my husband, into doing things. He very much does not want to disappoint his mother and will go out of his way to avoid any kind of confrontation. He is 36 and I'm 35, if that matters. See, he's 36 years almost he's on the downstroke to 40 and he's still acting like this. Every discussion or visit we have with her, I feel like I'm going crazy because she's very covert with her comments that end up being very guilt-inducing for my husband and myself. I've expressed how this makes me confused and uncomfortable with my husband, but he has a hard time seeing things from my perspective. Of course, he's just lived with this his whole life and doesn't know any different. Any help or advice is appreciated. Call that shit out. Like I said, there's a video I just did about this. Well, it's a clip of a video of a rant that I did about women using that fucking word uncomfortable. Name the behavior. Name it. Put a name to it. And stop with this, it's not uncomfortable. That's so vague and stupid. It doesn't mean anything. So when she starts with this stuff and say, why don't you talk to people in a direct way instead of doing this passive aggressive hinting shit? That is just so like non-communicative. And it's so immature. It's like what teenagers do. If you want something, be a grown woman and ask for it. Because you know what I'm going to do now from now on? When you do this hinting thing, I'm going to ignore you. I don't even hear it. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not going to try to know what you're talking about either. I'm going to completely ignore everything you say when you start doing that. And husband, you're going to ignore it too. I'm going to make sure of it. we're going to be a team on this, and she's going to change how she talks to us, or we're just not won't be listening to her, and she won't be getting anything out of us because she's not asking directly for it like an adult. That's what I would have told her. It's like, I'm not playing these games with you, lady. Your old ass playing these little manipulative guilt trip games. I don't do guilt, and I don't do people hinting. As a matter of fact, my little contract job, I got in trouble. Let me tell you what happened. So I had to write this, like report thing. And so it had to go, it was about some money. So it had to go through this finance. It went to a whole bunch of people, right? So, it was fine. Everything was going great. And then it reached this one dude, and I'm not sure why he changed it, but he kind of rewrote the whole thing. Well, not the whole thing, but he took a lot of stuff out that I thought was important to explain why, this money needed to be spent. And so I'm thinking, well, when it gets to the top, they're going to have to be having the same questions that he just took out. So what's the point of taking it out, right? So so they asked me, well, we restructured the letter like this. How do you feel about going with this version? And I said, no, I don't want to go with that version. I want to go with the version that I submitted, because they're going to turn around and ask the same questions, and then we're going to have to put them right back in. I mean, what sense does that make? It's going to delay the process. I need this stuff now, blah, blah, blah. Why did I say that? Evidently, it pinched somebody's toes. And so, it went like all through this chain of all these different managers, and everybody had their chest puffed out and was all upset. And I was just looking at them, and I said, okay, they're like, well, why did you say that? I said, because he asked me. He asked me, how do I feel about it? Which is a question. By saying, how do you feel about that, means I can express my feelings. My feelings were yes or no. And I said, why? If this was a mandate, he shouldn't have been written as a question. It should have said, well, this is how I restructured your letter, and this is how I want to present it to the finance committee, and this is what I think is going to go the best. And I would have been like, as long as I get my money, I don't care who writes the letter, really. But, just you going to be there to make sure that the money, that everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, then I'm fine with it. That's all he had to do. But that's not what he did. He did that passive aggressive shit. See, and Deb don't do passive aggressive, as they now know. I was like, if you want something, or you're going to tell me something, just tell me. Don't do this. If you're going to ask me my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. And if you ask me something that has a yes or no answer, 99% of the time I'm going to say no, especially if it means more work for me. I'm going to definitely say no. So now they know. You know what I mean? Don't play that bullshit ass game. White folks, they just was all in their feelings because I told them no. I'm like, no, not only did I say no, I said, I vehemently disagree. I pulled out my vocabulary. And so they was like all in their feelings about it, because I wouldn't want them to do what they wanted. So they call themselves going around me. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I already did all the work. I'll just get me my check. That's all I care about. If you can make that happen with that bullshit ass letter that you made, then I don't care. But don't ask me what I think about your bullshit letter, because I'm going to tell you. But he shouldn't ask me then. I think he got his feelings hurt. Whatever. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing. I was like, God, grown people with such sensitive feelings. Y'all are like little kids. Okay, so she dynamic. That's what the deal is with your mother-in-law. So let's move on from that, because I'm just telling you that's how I would handle her. Question number 11. This is a young lady, the 22 to 27 age group. Male is 22 to 27 as well. Summary of issue: what to do if someone doesn't remember anything that you say. Hi, Deb. First, I want to thank you for responding to my question last week, the love bombing question. I have an update because I think I know what is going on. So now I have been seeing this guy for 3 weeks. The pet names got more intense, and he is promising me all these fantasies and basically says he'll give me anything I want. Of course he's saying that. I don't remember that letter, though. One thing I have noticed about him is that he never remembers anything I say. It goes from something very minor, like a favorite color, to something where I have set a boundary. It seems like to me that he thinks he has me all figured out. For context, I dress similar to an Instagram baddie. I don't know what that means. So I think he thinks that I'm looking for a yes man who worships the ground I walk on, someone who wants princess treatment. In reality, I want to be a power couple. Ideally, I want me and my husband to both be financially stable, and we combine incomes every once in a while. I don't mind the occasional gifts, but gifts are my fourth love language. And I'd like to do something similar to my partner, and I have before. What do you think he's trying to do? What should I do in this situation? Is it better to discuss this with him or let him go? I seem like I already told you that this is all about getting the panties. That's all he's after. He's not trying to like be what you talking about, but he's trying to know you. And here's the proof of it right here. When they come in the gate like that, they have an agenda. It's not about you at all. You're just a tool for him to get whatever it is that he's got in his imagination that he feels like he needs. You are the vehicle by which he's going to get it. He's not going to love you like what you talking about. This is all a bunch of writ on air nothing. Just a bunch of dreams and selling wolf tickets. Girl, if you don't get rid of this fool, okay, don't write me no more letters about this. This will be the second time that I told you he's up to no good and to get fucking rid of him. But now you didn't listen. And then now you was with him 3 more weeks. And now, this and that's happening. I told you he was a fuck up. I told you. And you didn't listen. So don't write anymore. I'm going to tell Candace too, don't. Okay, because this will be 2 times that I already told you this is some bullshit and to leave this motherfucker alone and you just want to keep staying there anyway and wasting my time writing me letters about the bullshit that he's doing when I already told you he's a bullshit motherfucker. Okay, this is it. This is it. You done used up your chits. This is just like, the fuck, this clown. He should have had like the second conversation when he was coming at you like that, let alone 3 weeks of your time. Question number 12. This is a female, 22 to 27, male, 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My friend is being clean and obsessive, and I don't know what to do. Oh, wait. Let me see. I don't know if this is going to show up. I forgot I ordered a sample of one of the t-shirts I designed. I don't think I can sell this because it has a product image on it. I'd have to check with them. I'll check with an attorney and see what the copyright laws is on this. But I prepared a shirt. Wait a minute. Here we go. And look at the Dusty with his trash bag. my hefty shirt. You know how many years I've been talking about hefties moving Dusties. Put your shit in your hefty bag and get to stepping. I've been saying that for years. And so I finally decided I'm going to make a shirt that demonstrates that. That's my own little design, right? I'm not an artiste, so leave me alone. But that's the best I could do. Isn't that good? I thought it was pretty awesome. So I'm going to wear it to the gym and see what they have to say. Oh, when it came and I pulled it out from the package, I was rolling. I know my neighbors were like, what the hell is she laughing at so hard? That shit was funny. I thought it was hilarious. So anyway, back to the letters. That was our commercial. That was our little levity break. Okay, so she has an older male friend who's being super clean and obsessed, and she doesn't know what to do about him. He's told me before that he's interested in me as more than a friend, but I made it very clear I'm not interested in him that way. He knows I'm gay. However, he keeps talking about how much he likes me and wants me to go to his place literally every day in the evening and doesn't want me to leave when I have to go. He talks about how depressed he is when I'm not there and how me being there essentially cures him for the time being. When I don't go, I feel like he tries guilt tripping me. Oh, another one. Today, for example, he wanted me to come over after work a 9.5-hour shift, which finished at 7, and he knows I work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I told him no, and he told me how it makes him sad. Okay, I'm holding back. This leads to another thing. When I don't go over after I leave his place, he wants me to call him overnight as I sleep. I admitted to him today that I don't like doing this since I feel I have no privacy. Let me just stop right here. That is dangerous. Don't ever let any man do that to you. You women who like to fall asleep on the phone, these men try to talk to you on the phone, sleep on the phone. Don't you know they're putting subliminal messages into your head while you're sleeping? You dummies. Hang up the phone and turn your fucking phone off. You don't talk to no man while you're asleep. You don't do that. That is the worst thing that you could ever do. And when they be pressing for it like this, you know he's already a manipulative, controlling type. He's gonna be putting all kind of stuff in your head, having you doing shit you didn't even know that you could do. I'm glad you put that in here. I didn't even want to wait till I go back in case I forget. Don't ever do this. Don't ever do this. You go to bed. When you go to bed, you turn your phone off. Okay. You don't want to even answer it in your sleep. It's too dangerous. Oh my God. So she says, he then responded when she said she has no privacy. Well, you can have all the privacy you want. Sorry, I bother you so much. Aside from this, he'll also text me all day, every day. And lastly, he makes me completely responsible for his issues and emotions. He recently admitted to me that he was dealing with a powder addiction and told me that he doesn't plan on getting professional help, but instead expects me to help him recover from the issue. I have no issue with helping someone. However, I don't want to be made responsible for someone's addictions. He was saying how he essentially needs me around continuously because he doesn't want to do it when I'm around. Even before his addiction, he was like this with his depression, saying how he needs me and only me to fix it. I suggested he get therapy or professional help, but he refuses, saying that I am his therapist. Because I know he's dealing with addiction, I do tend to feel guilty saying no to seeing him or not calling him overnight, but I can't be with him nonstop. I just don't know what to do anymore. I need advice. Block him. Block him. Block him immediately. Change your phone number. Somebody on the wall complained, well, if I had to change my number every time I wanted to get rid of somebody. No, that is for extreme circumstances. More normal people, you can just block them. But when you have somebody who's so fixated on you like this, you change your number. You change it completely. And you don't ever call that person again. You don't email them. You don't text them. You don't do anything. Alternatively, you can switch that number to a Google number or some other kind of VoIP line. And then he can call that all day till his fingers fall off. And you get yourself a new cell phone number. So, there's multiple ways to do it. You just dump the number altogether, or you switch it to a VoIP line, and then you get your new actual cell phone number. So that's another option. But this thing, he's texting you all day. You can shut that down easily by saying, look, I'm at work. I'm getting paid to work, not text you. Don't be texting me anymore. You're going to get me fired or something. Okay, then for the one where how much he likes you and want to go his place every day, you don't know how to say no. That thought never crossed your mind. He talks about how he's depressed when you're not there and say, well, I'm depressed when I am. So which one do you think I'm going to choose? You depress me. You depress the fuck out of me, as a matter of fact. And it cures you for the time. He say, when I'm over there with you, you know what I'm going to do? Slip my wrists. It's just like too much. You just suck all the joy out of my existence. And then he wants you to come after you told him work and how it makes him sad. Good. Maybe if you be sad, you'll shut up and leave me the fuck alone sometimes. Because you get on my goddamn nerves. We're always whining about some shit. The old ass man crying like a 2-year-old. And if he wants you to call him over. Okay, I already talked about that. The texting, I talked about that. Now he's dealing with some kind of addiction. Give him the number for some kind of, what they call it, Cokes Anonymous or whatever. There's some name for it. You have no issue with helping someone. You should have an issue with it because this is not helping. This is a codependent where he's trying to make you responsible for his life and you are going along with it. There's a difference between helping someone and then you stepping in doing it for them. That sells into codependency. Helping someone is when you do something for them that they can't do for themselves. Like you had a friend who, I don't know, there was a fire in her apartment. She doesn't have any place to live. Okay, you step in and help her with a place to stay temporarily till she gets back on her feet. That's something that she was unable to do herself. All her stuff burned up, all her clothes, her underwear, money, everything that she had burned up. So she's left with nothing, and you step in and help. Well, yeah, that's helping. Codependent would be if she just didn't pay her rent and then got kicked out because she was using money for other stupid stuff, and then you took her in and didn't charge her rent and let her stay with you and stuff with no end date in sight because she made stupid decisions and continues to make stupid decisions. Well, then that would be codependency. Anytime you take over someone's life for them, that's what you're doing. And that's what you would be doing here. So he's talking about you, his therapist, and you, his strength and stuff. That, you know what, go and call them people that do them emotional support animals and give them his name and number and say he needs an important emotional support animal. He's trying to make me be his emotional support animal and I'm not having it. And let them deal with him. That's what I would do there too. Get him a puppy. Shit, the puppy probably gets sick of his needy ass. This dude is like too much. But anyway, you girls who are so passive and just fall for this kind of pressure is just unbelievable to me. Block him and go on with your life. Question number 13, female 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My problems with my boyfriend is my issue. How to tell him to accept me. Tell him to accept you. I feel bad about my relationship. My boyfriend wants me to change nonstop for him. I feel like he doesn't accept me as I am, and he doesn't accept my hobbies. He doesn't appreciate my efforts. I've been working out at the gym for a year, but according to him, I'm losing weight too slowly and doing too much weight training. And according to him, I'll look like a guy. He doesn't understand that the gym has become my hobby and the way to get rid of negative emotions. I have increasing complexes. He wants me to look like an Instagram model. The problem is also with Nook Nook. By making me feel unattractive in his eyes, I don't feel like it. He claims that I'm doing punishments to him for the way I look. With each passing day, I feel like I'm losing another part of the real me. He doesn't understand that I would like to be accepted as I am. I have never required him to change for me. I know his pros and cons, and that's the way I love him. Instead, he's able to threaten me with betrayal because he, quote, needs it. I don't know what to do. You stupid. You leave his ass. This is a non-question. What do you mean you don't know what to do? You just don't want to do it. I hate it when there's this feigned helplessness that you women do. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. You know very well what to fucking do. You just a bum and don't want to do it. You're scared and you're lazy. And you just rather stay with the bullshit and waste my time writing to me about this nonsense instead of taking action to help yourself. Y'all drive me crazy with this. You're driving me crazy. I don't know what to do. I love him very much. We have been together for 5 years. So what? You've been dealing with this bullshit for 5 years? Masochist. I pity the time we spent together, but lately I feel more and more a prisoner of this relationship. How do I talk to him so that he finally starts to respect my opinion? He won't. Do you think he doesn't know all that already? He's choosing not to because he doesn't respect you. The man is telling you right now that you're not what he wants. Okay? I don't know how much plainer you need him to be. You don't get it. When somebody's always trying to change you and you never measure up and you're not good enough and all this kind of stuff, they don't want you. He wants all this other stuff. And that's where you need to send him over there to find it. And then you go to the gym and you make yourself happy and you do what you want to do that pleases you. And don't you worry about some man. And, most likely you probably meet somebody at the gym. They'll be looking at you working out and looking all good and stuff. And he'll be sliding over there like, hi, what your name is? I see you working out. I like to work out too. Can we work out together sometime? I can teach you some new moves. And you'd be like, I bet you can. Blink, blink, wink, wink. I can show you some too. Yeah. This would never fly. It's the first time he complained, I would be like, you know what? Fuck you and your mama. Because she was a stupid bitch that birthed your slimy ass. Don't nobody want to be bothered with you. And your opinion counts for about this much in my life. I don't give a fuck what you think of, what you want, or what you like, or what, nothing about you do I care about like that. So I'm going to get all your shit and get your shit out of my house. Yeah, 5 years of this, I wouldn't take this for 5 hours. Not to mention 5 years. I mean, I can tell they have one time to criticize me. Once. Now, if I asked you and you give me your honest answer, like the dude asked me, well, then I can't charge you with a crime because I was stupid and I asked you. But that's why I don't ever ask men anything that, about myself. Because I don't give a fuck what they think. So why would I ask them that? Because I already know I don't care what their answer is going to be. So why even bother asking the question? Question number 14, male, 22 to 27. These people are making me itch. Sorry of issue. I'm hanging out with a former coworker. Should I make my intentions clear that I like her right off the bat? I'm 26 and I asked a former coworker to hang out with me. Hang out. She's 21. She knows it's a one-on-one. In the past, I've always felt like we had romantic tension, but with the nature of my position, I couldn't reciprocate romantic emotions, so I never really found out. Now that we're actually hanging out outside of work, how the heck do I make my intentions clear that I like her as more than a friend? Okay. A 26-year-old man, you 4 years from being 30. You on the other side of 25, that means you're on a downstroke to 30. 3 decades of your life will be under your belt. And you still want to use that term hang out like you're 14. Grow the fuck up. You should never use hang out ever again as long as you live. Okay? If you hanging out, you hanging out with your boys, you hanging out watching football, you hanging out with your dog at the dog park. Those things you hang out. When you're with a young lady, you are not hanging out with her. You're on a date. So what you need to do is call her back and say, I just want to clarify something. I asked you to hang out, but that really was, I shouldn't have used that term, because what I'm really asking you out on is a date. I want to make it clear I'm interested in you as a woman, as a man is in a woman. I'm not interested in you as a buddy or a friend. I mean, certainly we, be friends, of course, but I just want you to know that's not my end game here. And so she would be like, oh, and be looking all blushed and stuff and be like, oh my God, he's so manly. Look at him. He's just telling me, oh, we like that shit. You know why? Because it denotes confidence. And that is the one thing that turns women on more than anything else in this world, is a man with some confidence, a man with some goddamn balls. Most of y'all don't have any. So, sir, drop this hangout shit. Don't you ever use that term again. By the time you graduate from college, that should have been dropped from your vocabulary. Don't you ever use that word again. Ever. Unless you're married. Then you and your wife can go hang out and do tour, I don't know, antique shops or something. That's different. But right now, you in the dating phase, don't you ever use that term to confuse a woman with what you're really after, which is her heart. Okay? So let it be known that this is a date that has romantic potential, romantic overtones. It is not a fucking group date or a hangout like you a teenager. Oh my God. I can't stand it. When I see dudes talk about that online, I'd be like, oh my God, will you ever grow the fuck up? You still using that term like you 15 or some shit. All right, let's move to the next one. Question number 15. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. The male is also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend almost destroyed my self-confidence. How would you let that happen? Let's examine this. We were talking about business, and I wanted to make necklaces from stones and candles and make candles. We were talking about basic stuff to start a business, and then it came to advertising on TikTok or Instagram. I told him I'm pretty active online and I can do my best to advertise them on me or showing the products. Then he said, we need to find an aesthetic person to advertise the necklaces. You are beautiful, but not aesthetic. What the fuck does that mean? I didn't understand what that meant. Oh, okay, because I don't understand anything. But it made me upset because it's just a damn necklace, and I felt like I'm so ugly that I can't even put a necklace on me and advertise it. And then I talked to him about it today. I showed him that I was upset about it, and he got angry and told me that I misunderstood. I didn't call you ugly. We just need someone who fits beauty standards. What is this we? It made me more upset, and he got more angry seeing that. I don't know what to do and how to react. I feel really terrible about myself. No, you should feel terrible about him. You should feel terrible about the fact that you have wasted however long you wasted with a boyfriend who's so jealous and insecure that the fact that you're going to start a business and might be successful and be online as a business owner and make money is so threatening to this motherfucker that he wants to break you down so that you don't do it, to set you up to fail. That's what this is all about. You're young, though, of course, so you don't know that. Don't you think it's suspicious as soon first he's all gung-ho and then you start talking about when you got a mile, suddenly you're not good enough? You didn't tie those together? As soon as you said it, I knew that was his game was. He doesn't want you to start this business. He doesn't want you to be successful. He doesn't want you to make money. He doesn't want you to be in the public eye because he feels like there's going to be other guys looking at you and you might meet somebody better, which I don't think that's going to be a problem because he's a jerk. No man who's supposed to be supportive of your dreams would ever say any shit like that to you. His comment should have been like, well, honey, yeah, I think that necklace, the one you made with the brownstone would look really good, like with a black shirt or something, so the contrast the color. And then, I'll read some photography books and figure out how to take the pictures better so it shows the jewelry better. Okay, that's a man who's got your back. a man who's going to help you. And stop with this we shit. He's a boyfriend. He's not your husband. Anything that you start, that's strictly yours. Don't you put his name on nothing. No bank accounts, no checking accounts, no advertising materials, no business licenses, no nothing. This is your shit. Okay, be very clear with him about that. This ain't a we project. This is a me project. You don't have shit to do with it. Especially now that he's told you how he really feels. He wouldn't get a dime. When I was rolling in money, he's like, well, can you pay this bill for me? Can you take me here and there? Let me think about it. No, because that doesn't meet my aesthetic. Spending money on you doesn't meet my wallet's aesthetic. Buying something, taking you on a trip, that doesn't meet my credit card's aesthetic. I would wear him out. I would wear him out with that aesthetic. I don't even really know what he's trying to say, really, but I just don't like I don't like the use of the term. I don't like the way he did it, and I really don't like the timing. Question number 16, female 22 to 27, male same age group. What do I do to move on from what my boyfriend said to me? Okay, here we go with another boyfriend saying some crazy shit. I just don't even know. Female, okay. My boyfriend is 27 and I'm 22. We were having nook, and in the middle of it, he told me in a bewildered tone rather, that my hoo-ha looks like a cave. And your dick looked like a Vienna sausage. So what are we doing here? What is the point of this? Oh man, I can't even imagine how hard I would have cussed him out. Okay, she says it completely ruined the mood for me, and I had to ask if he was implying that I was loose. He said, of course not, but it just looked that way still. How is he looking down there when he's okay? Afterward, he proceeded to tell me multiple times how I felt amazing, even though I continued just for him. My mood was completely like, oh, you was tripping. You supposed to push him off and jettison his ass to Mars. You don't let him have a good time after he said some fucked up shit to you like that. That everything's supposed to cease and desist in that moment. Like, boop, into his face. Get lost, buddy. I tried to bring it back up to him about how it hurt me, and he did apologize, but I just don't know how to exactly move forward. I've never been too confident about my body, but after years of building confidence up, I just can't believe a single sentence destroyed it quickly. How can I move forward with being described in such a way? And how do I not nag constantly about it? By trading him in for a new one. Why do you think that you have to take somebody talking to you like that and stay with them? Why? Where is that written? This is a mere boyfriend. Okay, he done tore his drawers now. He said some fucked up shit from which there is no coming back. You're never going to feel the same about him. You're not going to want to touch him. You're going to slowly ease away from him because you're enraged and resentful, confused, and you don't trust him. And so the relationship with that one sentence, instead of you feeling like your confidence got destroyed, you should understand that the relationship got destroyed. That's what really happened. He talked too much. He talked too much and said some fucked up shit that he had no business saying. So, and men like that shouldn't get no coochie, okay? Because he don't know how to keep his fucking mouth closed. And I'm really embarrassed about the fact that you sit there and just kept letting him use your body like that after he said that crazy shit to you. Please grow some self-esteem. You said you had some confidence. No, you don't. It was all fake. Because in that moment, I'm telling you, you're supposed to fire back at his ass and light his ass up and definitely not let him continue to enjoy the benefits of your cave. That motherfucker would die trying to still get some of this. It's like, no, you don't need to, because, it still look like a cave. So no need for you to come anywhere near it. I just cannot believe the abuse that these girls tolerate. Is it me? Is my temper that short, or is it that? I mean, because from my perspective, there's no fucking way that this would fly. But I'm like, since there's so many of them that seem to be, I mean, they obviously not okay with it because they right, but they tolerate it for years before they write. So it's like, okay, is it me? Because my temper is like whoosh. And then I'm going to flame you on and light you up. And then whatever this shit was that we was trying to have is over. It just got burnt to a crisp in my fiery temper. So I just can't even understand how somebody would just sit there, somebody talk to them like this. So anyway, let's move on. Question number 17. This young lady is 22 to 27 age group, and she says, the summary of issue is, what is the deal with men who put women in rotation? After reading about men having women on rotation, I'm wondering if it's something worth pursuing, and how do I go about it? I've always dated just one man at a time and would appreciate some input from you and the ladies who have actual knowledge to share. I already did a whole video on this. It's called the Pair and the Spare Dating Program. It's on the channel. Type it in on the search bar and it should come right up. I was dating someone solely, however, reconnected with an ex and have been dating the both of them. No nook involved with either one due to my 3-month rule. Okay, Steve Harvey. I would have remained devoted, but learned the first guy was talking to other women, as he's supposed to. He claimed since he was not sure about us, he didn't believe he did anything wrong, even though he expressed we were exclusive after seeing each other every day for a month. Oh, did he now? And you believed him? So basically, he lied to me, and I'm not sure I can trust anything that comes out of his mouth. Originally, I wanted to find my one and only true love for marriage and children, and the ex expressed this 5 years ago. However, I was not ready at that time. I was busy working on my career and securing my own. He has shared the same goal this time around. Now that I'm getting older, 35 with no children yet, I'm starting to believe it's not going to happen. Oh, where is this page stuck together? Oh, I guess that is it. Okay, so she believes it's not going to happen. Well, it is going to happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen with this one dude. I mean, why do you act like this is the only guy out there? And dating one person at a time is why you 35 and you haven't done what you haven't made happen what you want to have happen. You can't date like that. You have to date multiple people at the same time. It's more efficient. And you don't owe them anything because they're not you're not their woman and they're not your man. Y'all are just feeling each other out. That's what dating is all about. So it's neither party is obligated to owe the other anything. With the dude who told you that you were exclusive, he was hoping that was going to lead to some booty, because that's what a lot of women want. They want to feel exclusive. Once that they're exclusive, then they'll sleep with the dude. But that still hadn't come up to pass for you. So there was no point in him saying that because it wasn't going to change shit. But he didn't know that. So he ran his same little game. And then it didn't work on you. It just landed on the floor and you was looking at it. So that's why he was continuing to talk to other women, which he probably was doing all along anyway. But that's what you should have been also doing. See? So when you got jobs, adults, you got jobs, you got responsibilities, obligations. Some of, people caring for aging parents, or they have children from other marriages. They have adopted kids. They're taking care of kids from their family, from the parents who, died or went off into some la la land or something. So you may not be your kids, but you're still responsible for them. So people have obligations, they have responsibilities, and they don't have a lot of free time like they used to. Some jobs are really busy. You work a lot of overtime, and then whatever it is. So your dating time is very limited. It's very precious, and it should be distributed amongst a variety of men, because none of them are your partner. None of them are you committed to any of them. So stop treating every man that you get, that you meet as a committed partner. They're not. You are not committed to these dudes until months down the line, after you guys been dating for a while. Then you figure out, hey, I really like this person. I just want to be with this person. Then it's a mutual thing, and then you can do it that way. But just come out the gate, y'all just only want to date one man at a time? That's stupid. You should be having your dance card should be filled to be a different nigga every night. Oh, yeah. You the Tuesday dude. And then next Tuesday is you. Don't let no dust get under your feet about this. These dudes, most of them not worth it anyway. Question number 18. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. Guy the same age group. Summary of issue. My boyfriend of 8 months has odd bathroom habits that are making me reconsider moving in together. I'm scared. I'm 30 and have been with my boyfriend. He's 28. Oh, he's younger? What you do that for? He's sweet and funny and hot as hell. I am in love with him. For added context, he is obsessed with cleanliness to the point where he has been weird about me visiting his house when it's, quote, not clean enough. He recently bought a fixer-upper of a house, and we have been spending time there cleaning and fixing it up. He told me right away to not flush anything down the toilet. Nothing, not even use toilet paper, and says to use the bathroom and just toss the TP in the open trash. Okay, I assume the house is old, must be a septic tank issue or something that needs repair. So, Deb, I've been going back to my house to use the bathroom because tossing used TP in the trash just weirds me out and it seems unsanitary. Well, last night he told me that this is how he grew up and that he has always thrown his toilet paper in the trash. Okay, so the only time men use toilet paper is when they take a dump. So it's like the bathroom thing is filled up with shitty toilet paper, and he doesn't have a problem with that smell and the bacteria flinging itself through the air. I know they do that in some foreign countries because of the plumbing issues and stuff, but I'm just not down with that, and I'll never go visit those nations ever. I just can't see that being something I want to breathe in. It's bad enough when you have a baby and you change their diapers. It's like, what kind of shit is this? Why is this happening? But yeah, I just no. Okay, so she says, in fact, his whole family does this. His parents do this at their perfectly fine home. It has nothing to do with the septic system. It's just the way that they like things done. Yeah, well, I honestly am a little weirded out. I wondered out loud how sanitary that could be and what could be the reasoning behind it. He got really embarrassed by my reaction and walked away. I felt bad, and I don't know how to bring up this conversation without him upsetting him further. We've been talking about the future and are planning on living together, but I'm not comfortable throwing my soiled toilet paper in the garbage can forever for no reason. How do I address this without hurting or embarrassing him further? I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, yo, y'all house is full of shitty paper, flies and bugs and all kind of shit coming up in there. I'm not moving in with you now or ever. That's not going to happen. You're nasty. Your family's a freak, nasty freaks, and that's just gross. Okay, y'all living in the United States, you got plumbing. There's no reason for you to be acting like this and throwing shit in the toilet paper like, he's going to float downstream to the river or some shit. No. No. Especially, can you imagine you got pets or little kids and they be digging in it and stuff? And little kids like to put everything in their mouth. Oh, my God. Girl, you better dip out on this now. I just look into the future and see all kinds of disasters about to occur in your life dealing with this dude and his weird ass family. The only way that this would make sense, I just had a thought. The only way that this would make sense is if they have a toilet with a bidet installed. So really, by the time you're using the toilet paper, it's just to wash away the water. It's nothing, it's no, matter, no fecal matter, no urine. I mean, nothing really on it. It's just dampening up, sopping up whatever water's left before you put your clothes back on. That would be the only way that would work. I can't see it working any other way. And she didn't mention anything like that. So I think they just wiping just regular and just throwing it in the trash with skid marks on it. I'm good. Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. Male, same age. Summary of issue. My boyfriend says that he will only think of marriage if I make more money. My boyfriend thinks that I should be making more money and that he wants to be rich. So I should be making more money, enough to match the lavish lifestyle that he wants to have, since he does not want to pay for anything for me if we were to get married. I find it incredibly shallow from his part, since it's not like he's a millionaire or anything. I'm confused as to if this is fine for him to want or if this is a red flag. What do you think? I think Mr. Cheapy over there needs to go and be by his own self. That's what I think. I'm thinking if a man is telling you to your face that I only marry you if you throwing down the cash and I'm not going to ever pay for anything for you as long as we are together, and you stay with him, you're an idiot. He's already told you he's not feeling you like that. You're just there for the convenience of it all. So, I mean, what other sign do you need for somebody to tell you that you ain't the one? Because trust me, if you were the one, all this conversation would go up in smoke, and he would be working 3 jobs to make sure he gave you what you wanted, because that's what they do when they are just so enamored of you. But he's obviously not feeling that way about you. He about to crack the whip and treat you like your name is Kizzy. He's gonna put you out there in the plantation and shit. I would dump this dude so fast. I just, I'd be out like my name was Flojo. this little clown right here. Tell him you don't want to marry him because he's too cheap. Say you got dollar bills in your pocket screaming for mercy. I can't be with you. Question number 20. This is a young lady that also 22 to 27. That's the age tonight. Summary of issue. I got played. I've been hanging out with a guy and he was pretty chill. We could talk about the most random crap for hours. If I had a really bad day, I could talk to him about it. He needed to vent about work and I was there to listen. We also played Xbox together when we had time. Eventually, he asked if I was single. I am. And I asked the same, and he claimed that he was too. We started flirting, and it got a little hot and heavy. Well, today, he asked what would I do if I found out that he had a girlfriend. Immediately, my heart sank, and I asked if he did. He said yes, but started making excuses about why he was flirting. I cut him off and began yelling through tears, with him constantly apologizing and telling me that I didn't do anything wrong. I told him that I only felt sorry for his girlfriend and that I felt bad for everything. I've blocked him on everything and now I feel like a horrible person. I keep thinking about his girlfriend and how he probably never communicates with her and finds other women to, quote, entertain him. She deserves better. I would absolutely lose my mind if my boyfriend did something like this. Part of me wants to find her and tell her what a piece of shit he is. I'm just hurt and I don't know what to do anymore. You're going to lick your wounds and get the fuck over it. Okay, only little girls think about, I'm going to tell. Grown women know that they fucked up and they take that L and they keep it moving. And that's what you need to do. You know, he said he was single and you believed him, but you didn't do any investigation to make sure, you know, you need to be going over their house and stuff. See what's going on over here. Let me see some stuff before you believe them. I don't know. I've just gotten to, maybe I can't believe nothing men say. If I don't see proof, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't believe it. I just don't believe them. They lie about everything. I mean, just even stuff that don't even make sense to lie about. Just for no reason, just to lie. I don't know what that's all about, but there's no reason for you to be worrying about his girlfriend, okay? She's a grown woman. She can go worry about herself. And most likely, she already knows he's dipping and acting stupid, and she's okay with it. Even if she's not okay, she's still there, right? So why are you concerned about her? You better worry about yourself and how you're going to prevent yourself from getting in a similar situation the next time. Let's focus on that. Question number 21. This is our next to last question of the evening. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. Seeing my friend approach a woman changed my whole outlook on approaching women. I've always been pretty shy and anxious. The worst kind of man. Women don't like shy, anxious men. My social skills are abysmal, so approaching women in public was out of the question. I always felt like I looked like a creep or they just laugh at me, so I never bothered. But what I saw yesterday changed my perspective. Why are men so concerned about somebody laughing at them like that's just going to break the planet or something? So somebody laughs at you, big whoop-de-doo. Are you going to die because of it? Is all the money going to be drained out your bank account? You're going to lose your job. Is it going to be like a drive-by? I mean, what is the world is so bothersome about somebody laughing at you that y'all flip the fuck out about it? Try laughing at yourself for a change and then start getting over it. Oh. Okay, so he says, I always felt like, okay. So me and my friend from college were out in the mall getting stuff for school, and we walked past 2 really pretty girls who were shopping. I was like to my friend, damn, they're cute, aren't they? And to my surprise, he was like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to go talk to him. I was pretty surprised. He didn't even have to warm himself up or any of that. He just went for it. Warm himself up? How do you do? Oh, well, never mind. I was sure he was going to get rejected on the spot, so I was nervous for him. And then he hit her with the corniest pickup line I've ever heard in my life. I hid my face because of the secondhand embarrassment. And then something happened that I would never expect. She was laughing pretty hard, her and her friend. I couldn't believe that worked. She even started asking him questions like what he was studying and shit like that. I was gobsmacked that it was that easy. He came back with a huge smile on his face. I was sitting down on a bench outside the shop and told me he got her socials. I asked him how he got the confidence to do that and how he was a bit nervous, but if he didn't go up to her, he'd regret not knowing if she liked him back, and that talking to people is easy when you're not focused on rejection. I'm still pretty shy, but damn, maybe it's not as hard as bad as I thought. It's not. I've always said that. You guys put way too much focus on anticipating negative rejection and pain. You focus so much on that, like that's 90% of what you think about, and the 10% is what you could gain. People of confidence focus 95% on what they could gain and 5%, if that, on the rejection. And that's why they're successful. They're more willing to take risks. They're more willing to take chances, more willing to accept rejection because they already know that's a possibility and they're mature enough to deal with it. When you have young people like you that aren't mature enough to deal with rejection, you put way too much on it. And you just think, oh my God, if they don't like me. And just because somebody rejects you doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means they just don't want to be bothered in that moment. They might, if you had approached them in another way, another day, been receptive to you. But you guys, this is the thing you guys don't ever think about is what's going on in that girl's life that makes her not want to be with me. Maybe she has a man. Maybe she just broke up with somebody. Maybe she just got word that she's got a sick parent. So, she got fired or she's about to get fired. She got written up at work or so. There's so many things that could be going on in a woman's life that's going to make her not open to what you're talking about. Your friend happened to catch two girls who were shopping. They were relaxed. They were having a good time. He made them laugh. And so it all worked for him. It all came together like a trifecta. But any of those things could have, one of the girls could have been in a bad mood, just broke up with her boyfriend, had an argument and was, in a bad mood or whatever. And so it wouldn't have worked. Didn't mean, like I said, it wouldn't have worked at a different time, but it's not going to work right now because of the factors that I mentioned. You don't know what's happening in her life. So if a woman does reject you, what you should do as a man who's got some class is say, well, it was still not, I still think you're a beautiful young lady. You have a great energy about you or something. And it just, drew me to you. But, you ladies have a nice day and, then you go away. You treat people with respect. And then, you leave them with a thing like, oh, he was really nice. So if they see you again, they'll be like, oh, hi, remember me? We used to this and that. And that's how it works with women. But y'all who get mad and want to cuss them out and throw things at them and chase them and, just act a fool, you'll never get a second chance, ever. Because you done tore your drawers with your bad attitude. So remember what I'm saying here. It's not hard. You talk to women like people, but be prepared for the fact that like people, they're going to have factors in their life that you know nothing about that is going to impact their response to you. When you go up to a complete stranger, you don't know what the fuck's going on in their life. Okay? You have your things that you like to happen, the outcome that you would love to have happen, but that doesn't mean it's going to. And then it also doesn't mean anything to do with you. But you men always take it personally. It's like, it can't just be that she has having a bad day or holding back tears. It has to be because you're ugly and she doesn't like you. You guys, the low self-esteem amongst men is just like epidemic. It's just ridiculous. Because anybody with any confidence in themselves would know, well, it can't possibly be me. So, she must be having some problems today. Not blaming her, but just like, she got some stuff going on. And I'm going to respect it. I'm going to leave her alone while she deals with it. Because, me talking about what I'm talking about is infringing on her dealing with the drama that's going on in her life. And so I'm, as a respectful person, I'm going to just, bow out. Good day to you, ma'am. Have a good day. Hope things look up for you. You have a better tomorrow. Whatever you're going to say. But don't take it personally. You should never take rejection personally. But y'all just feel like it's an attack on your soul. And it's just the most amazing thing. Yeah, but your little friend, I like him. He got, and that was a little corny line. I told you about my corny line. I know that shit is corny. I know it's like, my what your name is line. I used to wear people out with that. I got dudes who were staring at me. I just slide up to them and I'll be like, so I saw you looking. You like what you see? And they just be so stuttering. And I'm just sitting there, just like blinking and looking at them, showing them my teeth and my dimples. Yes, that used to work for me. And our final question of the night, male 18 to 21. Summary of issue: this girl who rejected me is suddenly interested after the guy that she rejected me for cheated on her. Should I give her a chance or move on? It's such a sucky feeling rather. Literally feeling like the backup option because plan A didn't work out. I'm leaning towards just wanting to move on, even though I really like her, mostly just because I'd always have that in my mind that I only got a chance because the first option cheated on her. Am I overthinking this? You doing just what I just said, taking it personally. It doesn't mean that she didn't like you. It just meant that she liked him more in that moment, or he got there first. And so she felt obligated to give him a chance first because he asked first. You know, you don't know what the history is. Maybe this was somebody that was introduced to her by a relative, and so she felt obligated to go out with him. You don't know. But here you are over there all up in your feelings. And, well, I'm just going to reject her then. And do you know you're going to be 90 in the nursing home and thinking, what kind would your life have been if you hadn't been so stuck on your ego and been such a little prick that you was holding a grudge like this? Little boy, let me tell you something. You're not about to get married to this girl, okay? It's just a couple of dates. In your 18 to 21 age group, you think this is going to be permanent? Call the girl, go out with the girl, and have a good time with the girl. If you like the girl, date the girl. If you don't like the girl, then don't date the girl. But one thing you should never do is make a decision on your life based on some, well, it might be, I'm second choice, all that low self-esteem talk. Never base your life choices on that kind of stuff. It just indicates failure, misery, and low self-esteem. That's what you're doing to yourself. Put that aside. You're getting the gift that you wanted. You shouldn't be tripping about how it comes and when. It came, okay? Be grateful and move forward. And like I said, it might work out, it might not. But either way, this is a chance that you wanted, and it was dropped in your lap, okay? Whether it came before that or that, because like I said, you don't know what the story is there. You made a lot of assumptions and jumped to a lot of conclusions, but you don't know. So just follow up and find out and then make the magic happen. Go for what it is that you want in life. And plus, every girl that you date is going to have been with somebody else. You're going to be everybody's second, third, or fifth choice from here on out. Did you forget about that part? Ain't nobody fresh off the block in your 18 to 21 age group. And the older you get, the more people have been there before you. So this is some shit that you need to get over. Okay, well, I'm not the first choice. Little idiot. You're going to fuck this up, I can tell. Just dumb. So anyway, that is our crazy show for tonight. Candace is doing her best, but she's struggling lately. I don't know what's going on with her. But it is what it is. So most likely we'll be here again next Wednesday. I'm not even going to lie and say, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, if it is Tuesday, I'll be shocked just like you. But I'm just going to start planning on Wednesday, and maybe I'll just change the name of the show to What the Fuck Wednesday, because that has a nice ring to it too. And Shay said actually Wednesday is better for her. So, and obviously it's better for Candace, and I'm okay with it. So maybe that's what we should do. I don't know. I'll talk to her about it and see if that makes her feel better, because she's just feeling pressured to try to make Tuesday, and it's just not happening. I don't want her to feel pressured. I want this to be fun. That's how the spirit in which we started. It was fun for her. And if it's not getting fun for her anymore, I got to figure something else out, because I don't want her to feel bad about it. Yeah, it does have a nice ring to it. So we'll see. I'll make it work, whatever. We'll figure it out. But that's what's going on now. That was the show for tonight. I'm trying to work on this show. You guys saw some of the designs I did, the store rather, for merch for the channel. I've been so busy though. I thought I was going to get to it and have it up by Monday. That's not going to happen. Maybe by this coming weekend, but that's about the best I can offer. And it's already Wednesday, so Yeah, I just have so much to do. This contract is just wearing me out. I don't have any time for myself. But I will see you guys as soon as I can. That's all I'm gonna promise. As soon as I can, I'll be back and we'll talk about something. Okay. So I'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your